That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time once again for your favorite show, Corny Crows. Jim?
Yes.
Last time you told me you had something to crow about. This time I sprung this on you. What do you have to crow about this time?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I'll tell you what I'm...
I don't know why I find this so funny. And by the way, someone pointed out these aren't crows, they're roosters.
But roosters crow. The rooster crows.
Several people wrote to me, they go, they aren't crows, they're roosters. But anyway.
I'll tell you one thing I'm a crow about.
Yeah.
Have you heard? No, you got it.
No, that's the one that jumps the 6 feet, so I lowered that one.
All right. But anyway, have you seen, and I'm not breaking anybody's personal business because he said this himself in public, Batista has just done an interview where he said before he got the role of Drax in the Marvel movies, after his first WWE run, he was broke. His house got foreclosed on. The IRS was mad at him. He had to sell everything he had. How is that fucking possible? He was making over $1 million a year at his height. Certainly, that was the level he was at, and he was there for a couple or 3 years. What? How is that even possible? Is there video footage of him going down the streets of Manhattan just throwing money to homeless people right and left? How would you spend that much money?
Well, first thing he said was tax issues, so that tells you he wasn't paying federal taxes. Who knows about state taxes? So right there, you could take whatever he was earning and realize you're going to take 33%, give or take, off of that. Big houses. He said something about his mortgage, big cars, living it up. Money goes pretty quick.
Good Lord. Hey, he said he didn't learn. This was a phrase that he used one time. He didn't learn anything at OVW. Apparently he didn't. Because part of my curriculum with the guys at OVW, and this goes back to at least the Cena class. And yeah, he was in there. So I not only told the guys how to keep their records about always write down their matches and their finishes and their payoffs and etc., but also their travel expenses and their road expenses. And I made mention of how that you need to make your quarterly estimated self-employment tax payments. And I even circulated a number of memos at various point in times of the phone number and address of my accountant here in Louisville if they needed help with preparing their tax returns. And I wasn't giving this out to the guys that were waiting tables at Chili's and they're at OVW just learned to wrestle, although they could hopefully learn that lesson. But I was primarily giving that stuff out to the guys that had WWE contracts, along with memos that said, gentlemen, your WWE contracts indicate that you possibly will make large amounts of money in the future in this business, and here's the way to take care of it. So apparently he didn't learn that either. But you would have thought that when he started working out with the son-in-law and learned everything else about wrestling, you would have thought he'd learned that too.
We don't know anything about what Triple H does in terms of spending.
No, I was being facetious. I was saying all of a sudden the light bulb went on when he started working out in the gym with Triple H, and he hadn't learned anything up to that point. I was thinking maybe Triple H ought to say, well, don't be a fucking idiot. You're making $1 million a year and you're almost 40. Don't spend it. Because I saw Batista's age quoted in this same article and realized it, because I've always said he was a late starter. He didn't get in the business until he was, older than most people start. When he was training here, he was either 32 or 33. And that was from scratch and injury prone. And as soon as he got here, I've mentioned he had I think a bicep tear and had surgery, which is why he was able to sit out and watch some guys, because he was really brutal when he first got here. So when a guy is almost 35 and getting his first spot at the WWE and has only been in the business year and a half, 2 years at that point tops, I would have been counseling him, and injury prone, as we mentioned. I'd have been counseling him to save his money and plan for a 3 to 5 year run. I've always said this, and that's what he got. Remember we did the math one time? We had somebody take out the time that he spent out for injuries, and his run in the WWE was like 3 months off what I'd projected when he was in OVW. Thankfully now, because of the way that he was born and looks and has the genetics for, he was able to become a movie star and make it all back again. A lot of people don't get that chance.
He's really good in those Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's perfect in that role.
What, a space alien mutant?
Yes, actually, I guess that's exactly
there you go.